Warning! The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of A.J. Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
How the hell is everybody out there? It's your boys, your main men, your jive soul mother from exactly specifically the same exact mother. It is, of course, your host, AJ Orsini, here with another edition of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, episode 346. And, of course, joined by my right-hand man, Deceive Dave. We're here. It almost didn't happen. I almost died.
Oh, well.
There was an earthquake.
Was it really?
2.3 on the scale. Yeah, I got an alert like right before it went on the air. It was like, you have an earthquake in your area. I'm like, hooray!
Say word?
Yeah. I looked it up on my gigs. They gave me the town that it's registering in. It's in Sleepy Hollow, New York, which from where I am, according to GPS, is an hour and eight minutes away, which is probably why I didn't feel a fucking thing. Because it's all the way the fuck over there. But when you get an alert like that,
I mean,
you got to take it seriously.
It's an hour away. I almost died.
Yeah. It's an hour away north. So from you, it's like 3 or 4 hours, I guess. But yes, it is Sleepy Hollow. Isn't that where the Pumpkinhead guy was up there?
That sounds familiar. Isn't that like a movie or a show or something?
Yes, Johnny Depp was in it, I think.
Okay.
So there's much to deliberate today here on the show, but we have to do 2 quick house cleaning discussions just really quickly. Last week we said that we were going to do the Microsoft president situation. We're not doing that this week. I did not get a chance to research that because so many other things happened this week that I really, 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 really want to get to. And Xbox's dumpster fire situation will still be there when we get back. Plenty of time between here and WrestleMania.
Evolving as the day goes on. So
yes, it's still an ever-moving situation, which is better. I personally like when these things kind of they breathe a little bit, more information comes in, more for us to talk about. The second is I need to thank a lot of people, actually. Okay. I don't have this. Well, I do have the specifics, but it'd be weird to just start naming like handles. It's weird. So we had a really good week this week. I did some promotional stuff with the YouTube channel, and from the last time that we have recorded, we are up. Let me get the current numbers because it changes like every hour at this point. We are up officially 110 subscribers.
Hey, let's go.
From last week, we are ever so close to the 300 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 500. That's my short-term goal, trying to get to 500. So that we can make the minimum requirement for the monetization, the stars. So we're getting ever so closely. It's changing every day. It's changing just a little bit more, We're making some headway. We're making some progress. So thank you guys out there for supporting the show and doing your thing. That's all you really need to do, actually, to support the show. That's all I'm really asking for. Just like and subscribe and comment.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the comments. I actually find them pretty hilarious. There are some people who come onto the comments and they're just like, yeah, man, you guys are spot on. And it makes you feel good. And then there's those comments that come on, they're like, "You're fucking stupid." It's like, right on, brother.
Listen, hey,
yeah,
they're both not wrong.
Thanks for the engagement, brother. So we're gonna have to actually, because of this recent burst of viewership. By the way, the Podbean, for whatever reason, the Podbean is still increasing ever so much as well.
I want to meet someone in real life, organically bring up that they use Podbean.
No, here's the thing: they don't use the Podbean. My numbers on Podbean go up, and the reason why they go up is because of the RSS feed. Because they're tied to the other platforms, that's what brings my numbers up. So I had a recent spike. Actually, I've had 2 recent spikes in the last 2 weeks. I'm talking about several hundred. We're almost at the next 1,000, and this is probably the fastest we'll ever hit another 1,000. But the platform, if I go to the statistics, the platform that we seem to be listened to the most, where is that at? It is right here. So the biggest one, the one that really actually it says it right here, 74%. So just about 3/4 of the listeners of the viewership that we get from our audio from Podbean is through Spotify.
Okay.
Biggest one. Underneath that is Safari. So I guess that's people listening through they're clicking the link on their iPhones or on their Macs and they're listening. Google Chrome, same thing on their Android phone or whatever. And then Apple Podcasts, and we're getting a little bit of play on iHeartRadio. But for the most part, Spotify and YouTube seems to be where the party's at for CD's Uncensored Mind. And so we're chugging along here, man. We're doing some stuff. Special, I know I said 2, but it just dawned on me right now. Special shout out, by the way, to our friend, Mr. Joe Pombo.
What he do?
Who sat me down just the other day.
Oh, shit.
Called an emergency meeting. We jumped on the StreamYard to have ourselves a little powwow. And he broke down some tips to the trade, some different ways to start.
He put you on some game?
But he learned me something.
Okay.
He learned me a few things. So obviously, you get a guy like Joe Pombo in your ear spitting game at you. You start to,
listen.
You start to implement, right? So I started implementing some of that wisdom, and that is also why, and I give him a lot of the credit for this. Not just our subscribers, but our viewership has jumped up tremendously. We're doing several thousand now, and that's thanks to Joe Pombo. It's not millions, we're not Joe Rogan numbers, but for me, it's pretty cool still to start seeing some progress and start seeing the rise. You put the time in, you want to see some growth.
Yeah.
And slow and steady wins the race. So thank you to all of you out there for supporting the show. Thanks Spotify for putting up with our shit, because I almost lost Spotify. I didn't know that if your content and your feed dies off after a certain amount of time, they just remove you. And remember, we took almost like a year off from when we did the podcast. So I almost lost that. And for whatever reason, I was just like, on the off chance, let me keep it. Kept reactivating, and now it's blossoming. So if you can't listen to it on YouTube for whatever reason, because YouTube has been down a few times in the last month, there's the Podbean option, obviously Spotify, iHeartRadio. I have a link tree that has all the links to even some off-brand podcast websites, but they still carry the feed, so fuck it. So give it a shot. So thanks for supporting the show, and there's the way to do that. I already spoke to Dave off air about some of the new things that we'll be implementing on the show that are just about in the finishing processes. So as we get closer to WrestleMania, we're going to start implementing some new designs, some new looks, some new feels. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm excited. So we're chugging along, man. We're kicking ass right now in the 2026. Let me show this to the world so everyone can see. Boom. I did this early this time, so that I can properly promote, not just the week of, baby. We're talking about it beforehand. Our WrestleMania live conversation, our yearly annual event. We're doing WrestleMania 42 in Vegas. It's happening Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, 7 p.m. We're going to be live on Facebook, YouTube, and The Kick. We'll be on live at 7 p.m. And you guys can join us, of course. Oh, I exited myself.
Oh, he can kick himself out.
I'm so excited I kicked myself out.
He said, "See you there," and then left.
Yeah. So I already have the guests lined up as we speak. I'm excited. It's going to be a fun show. But all that stuff is related to the future. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do here tonight.
Hey, what's going to be on the show today?
Drinking. One of my favorite activities. Ooh, do I love me a cold cerveza. The problem is I might be the last of my kind. The generations that have preceded me have not taken to the booze so well. The alcohol industry is taking a motherfucking hit, and they're putting the blame on everybody else. there is a downside, there is a slide there, and you're probably thinking to yourself, those goddamn tariffs. We'll bring it up, but it ain't the problem. Not as big of a problem as you think it is. There's a lot of factors to discuss in that, but the alcohol industry has taken a hit. I know that my heart's broken, and we're going to be talking about that here tonight. There was one omission from last week. We sat here and we did the Elimination Chamber review last week, and I got message after message. Dave, we forgot the box. We forgot to talk about the box. I got a message right after we recorded. I didn't even post the episode yet. With a buddy of mine said, "Boy, I can't wait to hear what the fuck you have to say about the goddamn box." And then it dawned on me that we forgot to talk about the fucking box.
You know what's funny? That obviously people don't know is we talked about the box right before we went on.
We did.
Not like full-blown conversation like we didn't record it. We were making mention to it.
No,
and then we were like, "Oh, I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about the box."
Because you said, "Oh, man, you're probably going to kill it." And I said, "Oh, I don't think my answer is what you think it's going to be." And you were like, "Oh, I can't wait." We never talked about it. But that's okay, because we're going to talk about it here today. Because it's been, again, I love when it expands and we have more to talk about. He's actually done some things now. We can have a full-blown conversation. We'll have that today. Also, we have to spin the show into a more serious topic of conversation today. And we're talking about online harassment. Thea Hale recently shared a story that was pretty emotional for people. Alicia Taylor, the ring announcer on the main roster of Monday Night Raw, has also had some recent run-ins when it comes to the fans. And there's been instances in the past that have all built up to this. So we're going to have the conversation here today. I kind of have already had a similar conversation on the show many moons ago, but it's always good to bring it back up because I think I have some tips and some solutions that might be able to help. And I don't mean that sarcastically. This is not going to be one of those tune it out conversations, some actual genuine conversations, some discourse, and what we can do. And of course, in our main event, Dave, he's got him mad again. The Cody crybabies have become the Cody haters. They turned heel on Cody before Cody could turn heel on them. To think that it was just a few years ago where we were all sitting here going, let's just give him a chance. And now the pitchforks are out, the torches are lit. We got this before we got GTA 6. This is a thing that's happening, and we're going to talk about all that here today. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it. Let's get to segment one.
Dave, it's time to start the show. Let's begin with segment one.
Segment one is talking about alcohol, the booze, the liqueur, the wine, spirits. Now, you and I, when we had our Royal Rumble conversation, shared a little bit of a story, a small one. The clips are on the YouTube channel. When we got faced with the 192 ounce limit.
They're getting in their own way.
Yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot. You had a chance to sell more booze, and you went with morality instead.
Yeah.
But Dave, the alcohol industry is in trouble. You and I are no strangers to having the occasional beer, having a few drinks here and there. But when you saw this on the rundown sheet, what were you thinking? Like, where were we going to take this?
I've actually heard about this. I've heard this kind of being. I heard this kind of being a thing, so I wasn't really like too shocked by it.
Okay, so that's good. Yeah. That's good. So
yeah,
right now, at the start of the conversation, because I sent you some videos and I got interested with some of the stuff that I saw too, so I took a few of the snapshots. Right, so we're going to present this to the audience so they can get a better understanding of what we're talking about. Let's start with our first slide here, and that is the U.S. alcohol consumption at a record low. Now, really quickly, I'm going to remove the banner so they can see the bottom. These are the sources here. This is a survey done on the lower left corner. You see the news affiliate that's posting this. That's where the actual video came from that I got this from. This was as early as August 2025 is where these numbers have come from. So U.S. alcohol consumption at record lows. 54% of adults drink alcohol. That is insane to me. That hurt my heart. So I can't believe that to me is low. That is extremely low. As a matter of fact, according to the second stat, it's down 62% from 2023, just 3 years ago. Well over half of the drinkers that we had 3 years ago have given up the sauce. They're off it.
Bottle.
Lowest level on record. I'm assuming record being from when they started keeping track of alcohol sales. But yeah, so this is a record low. And that's leading up to mid-2025. And then we have this little chestnut. Again, I'll remove I don't have to. It's all there. These are the high-profile distilleries that have not taken a hit, not lowered their sales. Dave, they've filed for bankruptcy. That's it. It's collapsed. The distillery at the A.M. Scott Distillery in Ohio, Luca Mariana Distillery, Kentucky, Devil's River Distillery in Texas. Look at the dates: December, August, May, April, March. Boston Harbor Distillery, the House Spirits in Oregon. They are finito. They are absolutely finished. Now, the U.S. alcohol sales trend in 2025. For 2025, or at least midway, I think this is still to August, right here. 434 breweries closed down. My heart. Oh my God, my heart. I knew I felt the disturbance in the force. What was that show? It was like I heard 1,000 voices suddenly silenced. Remember that scene where like Yoda's just walking and all of a sudden he drops the cane and just holds his heart at order 66 because there was so much death all at one time. He felt it in the force. I knew something that time I had that GERD. It wasn't gas. It was the pain of losing those goddamn breweries. We've had 268 new ones open up in that time, but that's 2 for 1 closing right there. For every one opening, there's 2 more closing down.
They couldn't innovate, dude.
They couldn't innovate. They couldn't get more creative. Yeah. The second straight year of a net decline in the industry. This is the proposed. This is what they are assuming based on survey, based on consumer interaction. The companies have done the research. 3 top reasons that the consumers have driven away from alcohol. Health concerns. You pussies. Are you kidding me? Health concerns? What's the matter? It's raising your blood pressure? Huh?
There's not too many calories.
Too many calories? What happened? Is that beer going to your hips?
It is, dude.
What's next? You're having kidney issues? Huh? You're blacking out? when you drink and it's messing with your vision. Oh, wow. You need a ambulance. Tighter discretionary spending. You broke, bro?
Yes, very broke. Very, yes. This is the one.
This is the one here. This is the winner.
The main one, I think, anyway.
When I part of the reason that I put this on the rundown for this week, and I'll make this quick. We had Steph's mother out of the blue wanted to spend time with Alex. I guess she decided one morning she was going to be a grandma. And she was like, "Oh, I'm going to spend time with my grandson." So we dropped him off. Not okay, go spend time. But then, like, what are we going to do? So we just went out and did some stuff, and we went to an indoor putt-putt, like indoor golf that happened to have a bar and a restaurant and stuff like that. And the bar. When we went to the bar,
it's empty.
Not so much empty, but it's you. Once you when you order a drink and it's a drink, it's like this big, and it was like $20-$30, bro, for two of them. And they're like, "Oh, we'll just keep tab open, bitch." No, you won't.
Yeah,
no, you won't.
Insanity.
No, you won't. You go give me my
that motherfucker right now.
Give me my car back. I'm not ordering another one. So you better tell that boy to make.
Well, that's a full bottle of alcohol that you could just buy. That's a Tito's right there. A decent bottle of Tito's right there.
A nice sized one.
Yeah. No, for $30 you can get the big. Yeah, you can get the big one.
I don't know if you can get the big one out here. I live in an expensive land over here, but yeah, no, you still. Way more liquor than it was at the bar. And when I put this feeler out for this topic earlier, that was the winner right there. I told them health concerns, tighter discrepancy spending, and shift toward moderation. Meaning they're not giving up the booze. They're just, I just feel like I should just be doing less of it. I told those three to people at my job and just people random conversation, and they all said they hit the buzzer on money. Boop, nope, too expensive, bro. It's too expensive.
But that's just bars. Well, I mean, it's too expensive all around. But
in this particular instance, I'm referring to bars. But like I just said to you,
yeah, you're right.
If in your area, right, it might be a little bit more affordable. But to be fair, you don't live in a high populated area. They have to make it. They have to make it somewhat affordable so that you'll buy it. Over here, where every block is like several thousand people, they charge. You should see the fucking prices at the liquor store by my house. It is crazy. I just recently got one, but that was because Steph bought it for my birthday not too long ago. Which, by the way, damn near murdered it. It's pretty much already gone. But that's my point. We need to. It's irking me. It's irking me. I can't. This is breaking my heart. I can't believe this. We followed us 80s babies. We followed the 60s and the 70s. That era is the reason why we have don't drink and drive advertisements. That is the era as to why they made seatbelts a law. They drank all the time. They drank on the toilet. They drank in the shower. They drank when they drove home from work. They drank on the way to work. They drank at work. Drink is my vibe here, okay? We had to keep up the legacy, and our kids are fucking failing us. I can't believe this.
Nah, dude, just another privilege those people had, the ability to spend money on alcohol.
The boomers, you know what I mean?
Right? When your rent is $500, you can buy a booze. You can buy some booze.
Somebody said on the internet, millennials are upset that Gen Z's not drinking, and Gen Z goes, "Give us millennial prices, and we'll drink." This is the Spirits Exports.
No. These are our prices. We're the ones dealing with this. You guys just got on the scene. Relax. We've been dealing with these price hikes this whole fucking time.
I do remember a few times fluxing, even like 20 years ago. I don't remember them being like cheap. I don't know. I know bar expenses have gone up, but as far as like liquor store purchases,
one of those things you sent about this, the guy was pretty much saying like specifically in like New York, a lot of these alcohol businesses are skyrocketing their price because their rents are like unbelievable. Like it's almost impossible to turn a profit. Like even at those prices, it's tough. So yeah, people listen, inflation is only going to get to a point where you just can't afford anything, and then no one's going to buy it, and then
everyone's just going to get priced out.
Going to get fucked, right? So it is what it is, man. There's nothing you can do about it. Health, I don't think it's too much about. You know what the problem is? You know what the thing is like we had the privilege to drink our sorrows away. These poor fucking kids got to sit through it. They got to feel this shit, dude. You have a hard day, you better take your ass in a fucking tub, lay in that bitch and cry. Buy a $10 candle because those fucking things are expensive too.
I'm sorry,
that motherfucker.
Are you sad? He's in Arizona iced tea. Relax yourself.
Go. Listen, they got their vices too, okay? Although they may not be drinking alcohol, we didn't have fucking DoorDash. You know what I mean? We had the one pizza place. And if you were lucky, you had a Chinese food place close enough that would deliver to you. You know what I mean? Nowadays, you can get something that's like fucking an hour away from you. They'll come to your house. So they got their stuff too. Okay, they got their unhealthy vices as well. So alcohol business,
instant
is struggling.
Food,
and people aren't like that social anymore, dude. Like this young generation.
Hold that. We'll get to that in just a second because that's another aspect that I feel like is one of the biggest aspects. But real quick, the exports coming in from the other countries, lower shipments. Canada's exports down 85%. I feel like that's being petty because of the fucking guy. But we'll get another time. Exports to Canada below 10 million. But you just hit it there, and I do want to talk about that too. The social aspect of it, right? Because even if you're not at the bar, I don't know how many times, right? Countless times, you and your buds just at the house, putting the game on or playing video games or whatever the fuck, just chilling and hanging out. You buy the 12-pack, you buy the 30-pack, you get a bottle, whatever the case may be. That used to be a little bit of the norm. I don't feel like that's the norm anymore. I don't feel like people feel the need to buy those. Even the complimentary, remember the old heads old heads for us, they're practically dead now. But remember, it used to be almost customary that when you visited a home, you would bring like the bottle of wine.
Yeah, but people aren't visiting other people's homes. Yes, I think that's still a thing. I mean, I don't hang around younger people or going to their home, so maybe I'm dead wrong here, but like
right, but I think
like people know you bring something, but they're not going over there. They're not doing things. They're either hanging out outside, if that. Like they're not doing it's just not really a thing. People aren't going to other people's houses.
They're not being all that social. It's texting, it's FaceTiming, it's video calling, they have virtual hangouts now. I have this. I use this a lot, the Oculus, but I use it for games. But every now and then, even if you go into a room or even if you go into a game, they'll usually, even in the game, there's like a side pocket of people that are on here just to fucking jibber jab and talk.
Yeah, well, there are fucking shoot apps and stuff on there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's for me, it's fucking annoying because I just want to play the game. I'm on mute, and then they walk up to my face and just go, "Hi, hey, turn your mic on, and I use the little controller, and I go like this, and they go, "That's because you a bitch," you know, like okay, all right, I guess I'm an asshole for just wanting to play the game.
That's it.
Okay.
They don't want to play the game. They want to talk to you.
But I think it was one of the videos that I had sent you had John Taffer in it. And he had made some sort of comment to the effect of not just a lack of social communication between people, as in they don't do it very often. What's surprising to a lot of people who own businesses that kind of rely on that social aspect, it's a complete lack of want. It's not like, oh, because the prices are so high, I'm working more. I would love to be social. I would love to be out there with my friends and family, but I gotta work or I gotta sleep, talk, and go to work. It's, oh, I got the time. I just really don't want to fucking go and do much of fucking anything. I just want to chill and veg and just fucking be happy. But there once was a time, and I tell people this all the time. I think sometimes my generation or our generation lose track of the fact that a lot of that drinking back in the day happened because there really wasn't a lot to do. We romanticize.
There weren't a Netflix and shit like that.
Right. The 80s and 90s get romanced a lot because of how much fun we had with what we had, but we didn't have what this generation has. Right. This generation currently has the capability of doing so much.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, even with your VR headset, you can visit places out in the world, so to speak. You can you can walk the streets of Italy on that shit. You know what I mean?
do it all the time. The Wander app. The Wander app uses Google mapping in a 3D render, so I can literally just go like this. I've gone to the Eiffel Tower. I've seen the Great Wall of China, and I've told people this, and they're like, yeah, but you're not there. You're not seeing the people. You're not seeing the culture. I said, you're right. I'm not there. And the times that I have gone, like for instance, I've been to the Washington Monument. That's one of America's greatest tourism areas. We went. We took the photo. I look up and I go, it's pretty big. That's pretty cool. And then I go on about my fucking day.
Yeah.
And when I leave, I'm still in Washington. When I go to the Washington Monument, I look around, I go, that's pretty cool, and I take it the fuck off, and I go to my kitchen. Like this, it's not even the same. It's not even in the same realm. Like I get it, but still, that Wander rep, by the way, fucked me up one time. Side note, I don't know why, but I was always under the impression that the Sphinx in Egypt, the Sphinx, the one with the lion's head or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. I always had this vision like it was huge, like it was a big thing, like it was like it's a spectacle, it's humongous. Mm-hmm. And my wife was watching TV. My wife watches TV, and then I go on the Oculus. We're together, but we're not together. It's a beautiful thing. We're at that old couple stage where we are there, but we're not there. It's awesome. And I had the Oculus on, and I was looking through Egypt, and I found the Sphinx. And the Sphinx is like this fucking big. And I was pissed.
Can you imagine if you traveled there?
To see some out, the disappointment would have been fucking crazy. It's still like, it's not small. I'm exaggerating when I say this big, but in comparison, like you think of the pyramids, they're big whole structures. I thought the Sphinx was also going to be like this massive. Nope. And as somebody who has actually walked and traveled through temples and pyramids in Mexico, I get the size difference without actually having to be there. So I was like, all right, I'm over it. But those are the numbers there for the alcohol industry. They are going down. There's so many aspects to this story that it's really hard to narrow down specifics as to what is actually killing the industry, because there's so many different options. We went through a couple here. People concerned about their health, people concerned about their wallets, people concerned about their fixation, right? Lowering the moderation of how much they consume. I'm guilty of that one. I will admit that when I was 23, I drank a certain way. Now that I'm 43, I drink a different way. So I can understand that to a degree. I can't remember the last time I drank and got sick, like from the drinking. I think the last time I got close was your house. No, that's not true. It did happen to me one time, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was after one of the live conversations that we had, because Steve got me fucked up because I was trying to keep up with Steve's bitch ass, and it turns out he's more man than me at this stage of my career in life. I wasn't man enough to keep up. I wound up curled up at the bottom of that bathtub, rethinking every life decision I've made up until that point. So yeah, but that's another aspect of it, right? People who drink it in excess. I mean, if you're you're freshly 21, and in this day and age, and you look back at the generation before you and how they handled alcohol, it hits them different than it hit us, because we grew up with people that drink. And I remember distinctly seeing people passed out drunk, pissing and shitting themselves, making all kinds of stupid mistakes. I got cousins because they got drunk and fucked around, right? Like, this is life-changing shit has happened because of alcohol. And we looked at that and said, wow, that's fucked up. But I'm not going to do that, so fuck it. And I would just start drinking. This generation sees that and they go, oof, yeah, I don't want no part of that. I'm just going to go ahead and put this bottle down and get myself a boba and call it a fucking...
Boba's fucking crazy, dude. I hate that shit.
And call it a fucking day. I'm just trying to be topical, but yeah. That's generally the idea.
I'd rather drink alcohol. Fuck a
boba. Another aspect, and we'll close with this as part of the conversation overall, but one of the links I sent you was the sudden uprising of sober bars.
Yeah.
So you get the atmosphere. You get the social aspect.
I like that, though. I thought that was dope.
I actually, for someone who's actually been joking this entire segment about the fact that they're not drinking a whole lot, I at least like that. I'll meet them in the middle and say, well, at least there's some sort of communication going on between you and the buddies, and we're playing some pool and we're fucking around, and no one's leaving sloppy. I don't have to wait for someone to finish blowing up the bathroom, beating on the stall door because he's passed out on the toilet and I gotta go. That's happened to me a few times now in life. I don't wish that on anybody. You gotta take a drunk shit and some asshole is just up against the door like that. Come on, bro. I'm going to the bathroom. No, you're not. Get the fuck out. Time's up. Let's go. Gotta go get the bar owner. Come on, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. You know how embarrassing that is to be passed out drunk on the goddamn commode in a bar in the middle of New York City?
Commode.
But yeah, I brought it up because it is shocking to me to see the numbers, and I brought it up because it is interesting to note the change in generations. And I don't know how you feel about this. You can comment. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. Like what
the fuck do you mean? Of course it's a good thing.
I think the only real spin on it being negative at all is for the people within the industry, right? So for the companies that did file for bankruptcy, those are jobs lost, right? So on that end, I kind of do feel bad, but at the same time, your job is...
And bartenders, alcohol. I'm sure, are hurting.
Well, bar owners as well, right? Because now, like I just showed you guys, the exports are not coming in the way that they used to. Like, as you mentioned earlier, that especially if you're in a major city, in New York or Philly, oh my God, I can't imagine what's happening in Miami right now. Like, their whole economic structure is based on motherfuckers drinking out the wazoo. What's Pitbull gonna do? Oh no!
I feel like that's one place that's still drinking. That percentage, what do they say? About 50% of adults drink now. About 45 of them is in Florida. So,
or LA, right? I can see some Californians getting down there and forcing it down. But yeah, so I feel bad for the people within the industry, but your industry is literally like damaging people to the point where they're like, whoa.
That's not this younger generation's vibe. Literally, like I think I almost never hear, because I'm around some of the younger kids, and I don't like when I say younger kids, you're around young kids. Yeah. I'm around young adults, but I call them young kids because it's my privilege to pretend to be old, so I'm going to do it. So the younger kids are they don't talk about that shit. Like I remember all the time that we're gonna go to the bar after work.
We're getting shit faced.
You know what? Fuck that. We're gonna do a bonfire at my backyard. Bring the beers, like stuff like. Don't listen. I'm not listening to them talk all the time, but I sit right next to them and they tell me the stuff they're gonna do after work. One said he can't wait, and then they made a point to this that they think like marijuana help like hurts the industry a bit too. One of them like, dude, I can't wait to go home and turn into Bob Marley, right? Like he just wants to go home. And then the other one is like, bro, she's like, I can't wait to go home and just go to sleep. Like I just want to sleep, right? And I know this isn't a good enough sample of the population, but it's just some small examples of like, and it's not just these guys. I've heard other people say these things. They're just not into the extracurricular that I feel like the mass majority was in before. These people want to go home, they want to game, or they want to watch Netflix, they want to DoorDash some Chinese food, and they just want to go to sleep. You know why? Because when they wake up in the morning, they got to deal with you assholes yelling at them because something didn't deliver on time. So once they're done with that shit at 5, they just want to curl up in a ball and fucking just eat and sleep, dude. That's all they want to do.
That's it. I heard.
God bless them.
Yeah, good for them, man. I had a coworker once.
They doing it right.
I said, "Do you drink?" He was like, "No, not really." I said, "Do you smoke?" "No, not really." It's like, "God damn." "Do you fuck?" He's like, "Oh yeah, all the time." I was like, "Oh, thank God." All right. There is one that stands the test of time. Thank goodness.
Oh, that ain't never going nowhere.
You may cut out the alcohol, you may cut out the drugs, but ass will always be on the menu. Yep. Thank goodness for that. All right, we are moving on to the next one.
Let's keep this show going. It's time for segment 2.
What?
It is time for us to discuss the man who is very nice and very evil. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the L. That was my bad. We did skip over the box, but to be fair, I didn't really give a fuck about the box before the chamber. In fact, I forgot about the box until the chamber, because they would do like small little things involving the box through the weeks leading up to Elimination Chamber, but I never really got engulfed in it. And right off the top, we already know now who it is, but I'll be honest, leading up to the Elimination Chamber, I didn't really have a guess as to who it would be or what.
Which is odd because you normally do.
Yeah, I didn't even think, to be honest with you, that it was going to be a who. I wasn't sure what was going on with the box. But I will start this conversation off by telling you, I know good goddamn well who it wasn't going to be. So let's start with that.
Please don't tell me they thought it was Jericho coming out of the box.
Because I'm getting pissed and I'm getting fucking upset with the way that this shit keeps going down. Anytime there is a breath on Raw or SmackDown, they go, here comes Jericho. Let me tell you something. I've been watching wrestling my whole life. Nobody does debuts or returns the way that Chris Jericho does it. He's in a class all by himself. And if you think that after all this time, Jericho was going to make his return to the WWE out of a fucking box, as the kids say,
walls down.
As the kids would say, you don't know ball, my friend. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you are listening to this right now and you have a friend that legitimately thought, here comes Chris Jericho, that is a red flag, and you shouldn't be around that person anymore. And you should keep your friends and family away from them too, because they're dangerous and gullible people. I don't know why anybody thought it was going to be Chris Jericho, because that is ridiculous. Chris Jericho was not coming out of a fucking box. It just wasn't gonna happen. So let's get rid of that. But I legitimately did not know who it was gonna be until we get to the pay-per-view, and I'll give you the setup. They got the box on the stage, and they spotlight the box. For whatever reason, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce are at the side of the box, 2 crowbars. They pry the bitch open and then bounce. That's it. There's no like look to see what's in the box. What could it be? What's happening?
They saw it was a casket and just kind of brushed it off and like walked away. They're like, fuck this.
It said coffin. I'm good. I'm straight.
Yeah,
I got shit to
I'm
do.
good.
I'm out. So pause right here. You see the coffin. They open up the box. They see a coffin. And I understand. Oh, the frustration. I understand that coffins, death, vampirism, all this stuff, that's all Danhausen stuff. I get it. If he would have did it in TNA, I would have gotten it. AEW, I would have gotten it. Ring of Honor, I would have gotten it. New Japan, I would have gotten it. But it just so happens in WWE. I don't know if you guys know this. I might be putting you on game here, so listen up. There is another individual in WWE pretty synonymous with caskets and coffins. I don't know if you guys know the name or if you've seen the guy. His name is The Undertaker. So you open up a box and you have a fucking coffin and the place goes banana. Because I didn't believe we'd see it.
That wasn't Taker's style though, and the box was a little too small for.
First of all, you know what I mean? He has come out of a box before.
The casket, I mean, my apologies. The casket wasn't really his style.
I actually didn't in the moment. I actually said out loud, "This can't be Taker." I mean, I get it, coffin, caskets, all that. I was like, because Taker's not doing the dead man gimmick. He's back to the American Badass.
Came out American Badass not too long ago.
Yeah. So I'm like, so what the fuck? Then the lights go off, which in my opinion was a fucking mistake because we see a box, but then we see the casket. Then they turn the lights off. And I guess they assumed that the lights off in the house, it's dark, but the backstage lights are still fucking on.
Yeah.
So all you see is the curtain behind the thing moving around. Feet shuffling.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then the music turns on, the lights come on, and here come the ladies through the casket. And based on the makeup and the outfits,
you knew exactly what it was.
It's kind of a dead giveaway now because they're wearing the Danhausen makeup. But I said, Danhausen? And out comes Danhausen. What the? And
fucking amazing.
And it was a moment for myself. I had to just
take it in, had to stop yourself from reacting harshly.
I said, let it rock. Let's see what happens here. Because obviously, based on this, first of all, the box was teased for weeks.
And they've been pushing.
They dropped this like right in the middle of the show, spotlight. There's effort being put into this. The women are coming out. They're obviously professional dancers. They've got the Danhausen face paint and the fucking everything going on, and then he comes out full regalia with the new music that's like the 70s Munsters music that just keeps saying his name over and over and over again.
Yo.
And he's walking down the aisle, and the pyro is misfiring. It doesn't even look like pyro. Is it fucking amazing? And then they go into the ring, complete professional look. They get in the
Wasn't
ring.
it like a fucking defective sprinkler? Like it didn't even go over his head.
It was like a misfire. And then they get in the ring, they hit the big pose, and then you see at the top of the screen, he goes again, like one last like effort of like pyro, and then the lights go out. And then the lights come back on and the fucking ring is empty and the fucking place lost their fucking shit and just booed. Now here's the deal.
They booed?
They booed. But to be fair, I'm watching this on the app and I know that they can control the audio. I had a buddy of mine who happened to fucking be there. And he told me that Danhausen himself did get a pop. There wasn't really a lot of boos until the end when they turned the lights off and they disappeared. So I said, what was the vibe in the building? Did they boo because that was it? He showed up
there and gone, yeah.
And then the lights went off and then he just fucking disappeared? Or did you get the vibe they booed because they thought it was going to be somebody else? And he told me he felt, based on conversations he had with people and what he overheard from other people, was that they were pissed that that's just all he did. Where he came out, did the whole thing, and then the lights turned off, and then he disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's crazy because on TV they protected it well. They did shots of the crowd and stuff, and when they came back, the ring was empty. He goes, but in the building, the emergency lights are on, so we still see the ring. So the lights turn off, and then everybody scrambles to get under the ring. and it just looks weird if you're inside the house. But the answer to the question, what's in the box, the Brad Pitt, what's in the box? What's in the box? It was Danhausen. Now, Dave, how familiar are you with his work, and how excited about him being in WWE?
I actually remember watching him when he was first doing his thing in AEW, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was a fantastic character, but obviously that wasn't the place for it. Like, he definitely stood out like a sore thumb. But after that, I really didn't follow him because I didn't watch AEW. But I did see like some of his social media stuff. I have him on social media. So when he was doing a lot of his postings, I would see that too. He has like a community and everyone like plays into it and everything like that. So I know of him. And my thought always was, man, this looks like a great character for the WWE. This is not going to fit anywhere else, right? At least with the idea of him doing this and then putting a machine behind him with the right stuff, this could be good. So when I saw him come out, I'm like, okay, he's here now. Let's see what happens. So yes, I know a little bit of him. I didn't follow his whole career, but I do love what he's doing. I love that it's an original character. I love the mannerisms. I love that he commits to it. I'm like, man, I would love to see this on the big stage and see what they do with this, because where he's at now ain't the place for it.
Fair enough. So the buddy of mine who hit me up when he said, man, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Danhausen, I left one piece out that he asked me, and I immediately thought of you because I think you've mentioned this in the past. He said to me, man, if you hate Iguana, you must fucking hate Danhausen. And here's my clarification to that.
What? But wait, is he saying that just strictly off the fact that he's a gimmick? Like, does he assume that you hate gimmicks?
I think he assumed that I hate comedy gimmicks, which is why I want to bring this back up to clarify that that's not the case. For the record, and it was only a rumor, but at one point there was people actually convinced that I myself played a comedy character, and that's not the truth. We've already debunked that. That's a cousin of mine. It was never me. Okay, the blue guy in the Bronx was not me. He's a family friend. Everybody in my family knows the guy. Guy from Alaska. All right, he's extended family. It was never me. I keep trying to tell people that, but similar builds, similar likes. We both have a thing for Latinos. It's a long story, but we were never the same person. But I think people get the idea that I hate comedy gimmicks because, like, for instance, right, I was kind of hot and cold on Santino. Everyone knows how I feel about R-Truth. He's hilarious, but it's the way that he's used, right? So the thing that I have about Iguana, and I could have sworn I said this because it's happened a few times, but I'll clarify now. Iguana as a character, I have no problem. He's a comedy character. He fits in the comedic role. My issue with the character isn't him. It's the fucking stuffed animal. Because people take bumps.
That's the comedy, though.
You could be comedy without being. You could be funny without being stupid. That's stupid. You shouldn't be
stupid. Also funny.
You shouldn't be. You can't be funny without the stuffed animal.
Maybe
then you're not funny.
Can you? But you can be still.
And
Why not both?
Here's where I think you can be. This is why this is my transition into Danhausen. He said, "Oh, if you hate Iguana, you're gonna fucking hate Danhausen." Here's the thing: when I first saw Danhausen, my first experience with him was on the Indies, and I kind of get it because the Indies is like the wastelands, right? Anything kind of goes on the independents. I understand that. Goofy shit's our us. Everything on the independents is fucking goofy. I understand. But he got picked up by Ring of Honor first, the original Ring of Honor, not the current Tony Khan one. And I grew to hate him because that's Ring of Honor. Now, I know by the time he got there, it had got into a new regime. It was a different place. But my heart, my mind always looked at Ring of Honor like the real professional wrestling fucking organization. And to have this guy being a goof, to me, was just, I hated it. When he got signed by AEW, I extra hated it because you keep telling me you're supposed to be sports-based entertainment. You're not doing it, but you're supposed to be a little bit more serious.
Now you're entertaining this buffoonery.
Not just buffoonery, but they hire the guy and he does a few things which he couldn't do a lot. I don't know if you saw the interview or not, but he did one recently where he spoke on that. He broke his leg on the Indies. And when they signed him while his leg was still broken. So he just kept debuting and doing the curse thing over and over and over until he could get healthy. And then he had his fair share of matches. But he got derailed in AEW, not because he wasn't clicking and he wasn't working, but because he was friends with Punk. And when Punk left AEW, all of those friendships in AEW got them sunk. So he's been home for a year and a half, almost 2 years, doing nothing, getting paid by AEW. So he hasn't done a whole lot. I didn't like the signing when it happened because I just knew they weren't going to use him the correct way. They were going to try to implement him as a wrestler, which is not what he does, because they try to make everybody a wrestler when they're not. That's not his forte. He can, but it's not what he does.
Yeah, why do I remember that? Like he can actually go?
He can perform. He's just really, really small. Like if he wrestled Rey Mysterio,
he's just not known for his wrestling, basically.
Yeah, exactly. He's not known for his wrestling. If he wrestled Rey Mysterio, Rey would be the heavy. Like Rey would have to base for him. It's amazing how that works. But he's a small thing. So when he made his debut,
don't call that man a small thing. That's crazy. He's
a little guy. He's a little guy.
Jesus Christ!
When he went to WWE and they made the debut, I said, "Let's hold off. Let's see what happens." Blah blah. So before Raw and SmackDown, before I saw anything, when I had to make peace with the idea that he's now a WWE superstar, not NXT, by the way, straight to the main roster, I thought to myself, I like this. This fits.
What clicked?
Because of where he is. Because if there was ever a place to not even worry about the wrestling, like if he has a match, I'd be shocked. To just have him on the show as a fucking goofball and to do the curse and all that other stuff and sell the merch and the look. If there was ever a place on earth where I would just go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's here. It's the place that doesn't consider themselves professional wrestling. They are a world wrestling entertainment. That's what this guy is. If you put him in that category, if you promote him and you push him and you promote him as that, as a comedic, family-friendly goofball guy that might at best be able to be used to progress storylines. He could be used as fodder in certain situations. If used correctly, his comedic talents, which I do give him, he's a hilarious dude already with the Danhausens and the, it's like, why is this wet? That was in the toilet. Okay, we're going to put that down. Look, listen, the way that they're treating him off the bat is already proof to me that this is a good fit. Because initially, they're not really taking him seriously. But he's already cursed Dom, and it worked out well, and now he's cursing the Miz. So we'll see how that backfires on him. Despite it being goofy, they're taking it seriously in the sense of how they're using it. So this setting is what makes me like the signing more than the signing. I don't really look at him and go, yeah, that's a game-changing talent. But I do look at him in the sense of business and what he can offer the company, just being the goofball Danhausen, and that's all I really want. That's why I didn't like him in Ring of Honor, because in Ring of Honor you have to wrestle, and that's not his thing. He can wrestle. He's not a great wrestler, especially against larger opponents, which everybody's a larger opponent. AEW was the same way. I knew they were going to maneuver him into gimmicks and this match and that match. No, WWE is not going to put him in a position. I have the idea in my head that at some point, if he wins the title, it'll almost be by accident, and he won't even be aware of it until he's holding the belt. Like something goofy like that. It was like, the Intercontinental Championhausen, or whatever the fuck he's going to come up with to just be fucking hilarious and entertaining. He did this thing the other day with they had him out there during a commercial, throwing T-shirts out to the audience and trying to get them to go to the shop website and all this stuff, but in his own little like Danhausen way, which is another reason why I like this, because his verbiage as his character is so good that this is one of those characters where they can't write for Danhausen.
No,
Danhausen is going to have to sit with the writing team and work that out with them, so that he sounds.
Which is really
like
cool
Danhausen.
because there's not a lot of people with that level of creative freedom. There's no way they're writing him. I mean, there's a possibility of them giving him some type of guy. Okay, this is where we want to go.
Yeah, right.
Like,
but he has to be in the room.
Right.
Going, okay, this is how I think we should get there.
And I'll tell you what, man, for him being on the big stage, he's like his talking level, his talking bar is max, dude. This guy is not stuttering. Like and his shit is quick-witted too. Like he's on not only some of those things he's been saying it's reacted to them saying something else, and has been shout out to the talent because they've been bouncing with him. It's been really good how they've been kind of playing with him, but like it's been great. The chemistry right now, just I don't know if it's him that's bringing that to the table or it's everyone else just kind of having fun with it, but the chemistry feels really good so far.
I love the new aspect of it because they didn't do this in the other companies, and it makes sense to do this here because it adds to the element of the gimmick. He'll say the line with the curse. You guys are cursed. And then they'll look at each other and go, this guy is insane. Look, listen. Where'd he go? It's like he just disappears. He's done it like 3 times now, and I'm like, oh, see, that's what I'm saying. They're able to use the comedy, and it doesn't kill off the show. His specific segment has. It's almost like that segment gives the audience permission to just dial out for a second and just laugh. Just for this one moment, just forget the other wrestling show and just enjoy this guy because he's just comedically, he's just there.
Yeah.
He's
good. He's good, man. He's doing fantastic. I really love what he's doing right now. I hesitated to say this, but I'm going to say it. Because uncensored, AJ's uncensored mind is not a place if not for negativity.
Okay.
So,
all right.
My only fear is the curse thing. That's my only thing. I'm a little worried. I just hope they're very delicate with it and they don't abuse it. I actually hope, for me, that they have fun with it for a little while and then just
to get it over and then
just let it quietly let it go. Because it is cool to see that he did that to Dom. It's cool to see that he did that to Americano, which I finished that Raw. I don't even really know if they explained what happened there. But
he didn't win the title speech.
Huh?
He didn't win the title match. That was the curse. He lost.
No, but it wasn't him.
It wasn't him? What do you mean?
It wasn't the original Americano. It was the other guy that came out. So we don't really even know what I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but like he cursed the original Americano, and then the other Americano came out as if like nothing was happening. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the next time they come back on the screen, the original Americano is gonna speak as if he was screwed, like he lost a match, he wants a rematch. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to play it like it wasn't him, but it was him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what they're gonna do with it. But we'll see. But see, even in that, like that's fun. But I want them to be very careful with the cursing, because if you start leaning into it too hard because it's funny right now, not only are you kind of spoiling things because people are just gonna catch on to it. That's my only fear. I just want them to be very careful with it. Everything else, solid. Like, and it doesn't all of it's good. I love it.
It doesn't look like it's going to take long for the cursing to get over, because like I just told you, the T-shirt thing
it's over
that they did on the commercial. He told everybody, if he goes, sell out the shirts, go to WWEshop.com, and if you don't, and he picked the microphone up and the whole building said cursed. So it's not going to take long for this thing to
he's out of here.
He's off to the races.
He has a fan base. They just exposed him to more people.
I was just gonna say, he does have a built-in fan base, but it's not. In the next month or so, that fan base you're talking about is about to fucking explode.
No, yes, but he has a core, dude. There are people with tattoos of his face on his body. I've seen it. I told you I'm on his Facebook. I see people posting shit all the time. Every Halloween, somebody's Danhausen. Like, he has a core fan base. Whatever you call big, that's fine. He's about to, if he keeps it up, he is about to explode. And I'm happy for him, because they fucked him over at the other place, disrespectfully. Yeah. So I'm glad he's getting his comeuppance.
He was friends. There's a rumor that the reason why he was fucked around was because he was friends with Punk, and I'll make the argument that friendship is what got him here. So it might have hurt in one area, but it didn't hurt in the other. So it is what it is. Yep. WWE's game.
You just gave him a year to perfect his craft, because I know he wasn't sitting on the couch doing nothing.
No, exactly.
And I can see the work. The man's talking like he's never stopped. Mm-hmm. On the biggest stage, next to the biggest people, and the chemistry. It's so good.
1 month, by the way, or 2 technically, right? April, before the biggest show of the year, and he's doing something in Vegas.
Yeah, he's doing something goofy.
He's doing something goofy in Vegas.
He's doing something.
Just gotta figure
good
out.
Good for him, man. Shout out to Danhausen, dude. He's working. I love it.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with our wrestling, more wrestling, I guess you can say. A serious topic when we get back, and then, of course, our main event.
Hello, boys and girls out there. My name is AJ Orsini, and usually I'm rolling with my right-hand man, my brother from exactly the same exact mother, the Steve Dave, and we are the hosts of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Predominantly, we're a pro wrestling podcast, of course, but we tackle all number of subjects on our show. We do it with laugh, we do it with class, and we do it conversationally, baby. We have a great conversation with our fan base, of course, you folks out there in the House of O. And now is an opportunity for you to jump on board and be a team member. How do you do that? Very simple. Email AJOrcini96host@gmail.com to find out sponsorship opportunities that all of you qualify for, whether you're a business or individual. If you want to find a way to support the show, once again, email AJOrcini96host@gmail.com. What kind of sponsorship opportunities are you talking about? I mean, we range from anywhere from $1, $5 to $10. What do those numbers buy you? Email the address, AJOrcini96host@gmail.com. We'll have the conversation. It's an easy peasy system. You'll be able to get your word out. Whatever it is you need said, whatever it is you need done over the airwaves or through Uncensored Mind. Let's not just be fan and host, folks. Let's be partners. Head over to the email and I'll email now about sponsorship.
Segment 3 is here, and I can't wait.
Come on.
There it is. It's back. All right. So we're here to talk a little bit about some online. I gotta fix this, Mike. Online harassment. Now, I mentioned to somebody at the job we're going to talk about this topic, and they said, "Well, surely you're not going to be talking about the online trolls." And I'm going to stop you right there, brother. I'm going to put the kibosh on that right now. No. we're not talking about trolls. Ooh, did my mic pick that up just now?
You get a sound effect. You should have just rolled with it.
The shit was right by my window. It scared the shit out of me. I'm like, it's Godzilla outside right now. So, no, I'm going to put the kibosh on that. We're not talking about trolls, right? An internet troll is not the same thing about what we're talking about here today, because what we're talking about here today are people who are taking things way too fucking far, right? An online troll, everybody gets what that is. Everybody understands that. Some asshole somewhere on a keyboard or on his phone just jibber jabbering and talking all kinds of wild shit for no fucking reason at all whatsoever. You know, there's a million different people that we can point to that are in high profile situations that know about that. You don't even need to be famous to have experienced online trolls and bullshit negativity online. But there is a whole nother level and a whole nother realm of bullshit when you have a level of celebrity, some level of fame. It takes that nature to a whole nother level, and unfortunately, it's a conversation that has to happen with more than just us. We're having discourse for sure. We're not going to sit here and tell you that we've got all the answers. I have a few ideas that we'll talk about at the end, but for the most part, there is a large community of people out there that truly believe that simply because you are a public figure, that not only are they entitled, God damn it, they're owed your attention, they're owed your communication, they're owed your time,
your affection, everything,
your affection, all of it. You know, I make the joke all the time that Tony Khan uses wrestlers like toys. And I've also flipped it to the fans in the past when I talk to wrestlers who are up and coming, like people who are training, people who are in school. You know, don't let the negative comments get to you. And to be real, don't let the positive ones get to you either. Because at the end of the day, it's almost like a fantasy world for these people. They don't see you as human. You're not a human being with a life and family and problems of your own. You're this figure that exists solely for their entertainment and for whatever purpose they deem.
Yep.
So there's a lot of that going around with people. One of the things that inspired this story, Thea Hale recently sat down. Thea Hale is an NXT superstar, and very recently there's been some conversation. There was an incident that happened, not with a fan, in-ring incident, where there was kind of a mistake made by Thea and Blake Monroe. There was a title change that took place that wasn't supposed to, that wasn't planned to take place. They have fixed it since then, but she's gone public stating that she's been just lamb-based, just tortured online, torched by people because she made a mistake, she fucked up. This happens a lot with people. Harley Cameron.
Did she make a mistake, or
there was some
like you mean like just like in a match, like a botch or something?
Yeah, there was some sort of move that she did where she stiffed Blake with it, and Blake literally lost wind and just kind of locked up. Her muscles locked up or whatever. And normally when you hit somebody stiff like that, you're supposed to give them a minute to catch up. She didn't. She banged her, boom, and then pinned her immediately. Blake could not kick out. So it was 1, 2, 3, and there was a lot of confusion, and Blake won a title. She won the women's North American title because of it. Now, they flipped it like a week or so later, and she dropped the belt. But in the moment, it was like a big deal. And NXT kind of made it a bigger deal than just a mistake, because after that, they went public, and they were like, oh, we're implementing a new policy. You're not allowed to leave the show anymore, because they wanted to redo the spot or redo the match or whatever, and they, for whatever reason, they didn't have the staff available to them, so they had to air what was. So they changed the policy up, and anyway, I guess there was some people that were mad about that. They gave her some bullshit, and she got emotional about it. And it's not up for us to say how much a person should and shouldn't take, because you got those people online, oh, she's so fucking soft. You know, it's comments online, tune it out, you know, and just so some people can't. Some people just they don't have my gift. They don't have my blessings of not giving a single solitary fuck what any of you fuckers have to say about anything.
She's young. She grows up on social media.
She said
It's like telling her, or not, let's take it off her for a second. Telling people her age, I think she said she was like 22 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm a 22-year-old girl is what she said.
To not care about what people think about on the internet is the same thing telling you what people our age to not care about what people think about you in school. Do you understand what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
that's my social group. That's where I'm at. Like, that's where my worth comes from. And you're telling me not to care about what they say. Like, to us and people older than us, and maybe some people who have thicker skin, her age, will tell her, like, yeah, so what? Like, you just got to suck it up and move on. But for some people, it's not that easy, dude. That's their peer group. That's where they get their validation. It is what it is. That's a shitty place to get validation,
but that's where people sometimes seek it. And then you have another recent story, which is a different element of this. Alicia Taylor, the ring announcer for Monday Night Raw, she's not being criticized. She's being harassed in a completely different way. She's got men in her DMs.
You talking about the girl with the crazy hair?
Yeah, the girl with the crazy hair. She's got people in her DMs. She's got people contacting her. She's getting weird messages on the phone. There's people calling the company. That apparently there's a subset of dudes who are like following the WWE city to city. And they're like, hey, I heard you're going to be in Chicago on Saturday. Do you want to get dinner? Do you want to get together? And she's like, I don't fucking know you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, please stop contacting me. And then they get into the whole, oh, you think you're better than me? Yes. Oh, you're just treating me like a piece of shit. Yes. I'm a supporter. I'm a fan. You shouldn't be talking to me. Like, Robert De Niro in that baseball movie with Wesley Snipes. You're like the stalker fan.
Like social media Karens, dude.
Why? Well, some people, outside of these two recent incidences, we've had, remember the Sonya Deville situation in 2020 where the motherfucker broke into her house and literally tried to kidnap her. Rhea Ripley's video in 2025 last year when they were doing Clash in Paris where Rhea couldn't get inside of the cab because they're not even asking for photos. They're walking up to her face like this, like to take a photo with Rhea, and like one person may be okay, but then like in the video there's like 15 people muscling other people out of the way so that they can get next to Rhea to take photos and stuff like that. There's some deranged fucking people out there, and if they would exist, whether these people were wrestling superstars or not, if they weren't there taking a photo with them and trying to stalk them, they'd be stalking somewhere else because they're broken people. And they should be monitored, to be honest with you. And the fact that they're getting away with walking around free and breathing our air is kind of a sad state of affairs. But these people really do fucking exist. Another example that I had put down, no, actually, I just said them all already. But there's a list here that I also wanted to bring up that I sent you. It was the most harassed athlete league online. This is worded weird. Ed Axon from Cryptomaniacs. They did some sort of a study here, and this could all be misleading, but I look at this list and I fucking believe it, to be honest with you. They took an account of social media posts, interactions. They did a full-on study, and they did it for different leagues. So it was like the Premier League for soccer or football, NFL players, the NBA, and WWE. And they took in all of this information. This says WWE's data was analyzed from the 30th of April 2024 to June 28th, 2025. So a little over a year, April to June. In line with WrestleMania seasons, eligible athletes needed a minimum of 250,000 followers across platforms and needed to be signed to a WWE or AEW contract or have wrestled at least one match during the time period. So for instance, Nikki Bella was not under contract for the entire duration. So the sample was collected from January 25.
And I'm sure she probably got some crazy shit on there.
And she made the list. Yes, of course.
Oh, so she did make the list.
She did make the list. And that's that's them calculating.
I thought they were using her as an example of someone who didn't make it because she wasn't active.
Because she had the contract. She started her contract in January at the Royal Rumble. So she qualified from January to June. So they left out 8 months worth of social media activity, and she still made the list. That's how much negativity was on her social media. So here it is, tied for 15th. It was only 15th. Nikki Bella, Natalya, and Ricochet. Who the fuck is out here fucking with Grandma Natty? I don't understand. Dead people and people that are dead inside. That's who it is. Will Ospreay at 14. Remember, this is negativity. So as popular as he is, Will Ospreay is on this list. Britt Baker at 13, which not surprised. Alexa Bliss at 12. Jon Moxley at 11. Here's your top 10. Jade Cargill, who, yes, every day.
I bet those are nasty, from dudes hitting on her to racist shit.
Oh, yeah. Number 9, the Young Bucks. 8, Cora Jade.
No,
Number 7.
Let me not say that. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Let me stop.
Number 7, Chris Jericho. Number 6, CM Punk. Number 5, Tegan Knox. But that's because of, I bet you that was a spike on that one situation that she was involved with. Saraya, or Paige, as we know her. Number 3, Mercedes Moné. Number 2, Nia Jax. I'm sorry, Nia. I might be on that list of people that was fucking with Nia.
Okay, that's fucking. Let's not incriminate ourselves, please.
I gotta hold myself accountable. I may have said a thing or two. But the number one hated WWE or just wrestler, number one hated wrestler on social media, without a doubt, by a lot, Charlotte Flair.
And Queen, man, she's number one in everything, dude.
Which is why it's so hilarious, because I feel like there's a lot less negativity toward her now, based on her current run than ever before. She's kind of getting off that, but for a long while, she was. And these are coming from people. There was I forgot to add this to the list. Let me look this up while I'm talking about her. There was one lady in particular. This is more of an extreme, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Japanese dancer who committed suicide due to social media or whatever. What was her name? I want to get there. It goes. Hana Kimura from Japan, 22 years old. She was a Japanese wrestler. When did she pass? 2020. All right. She was a rising star in Stardom and was a cast member on the Netflix reality show Terrace House. In early 2020, Kimura became the target of severe daily online abuse and cyberbullying, with some users sending message telling her to unalive yourself and to not be here anymore. The abuse intensified with a specific episode of Terrace House where she got into an altercation with a roommate. She would later go on to post cryptic messages on her Twitter and on her Instagram, and then eventually would go on to unalive, I guess you could say, unalive yourself. And that is, again, an extreme situation, but not completely off the table. There are people who are retiring from show business. There are people who are moving from their homes. This is a serious, serious situation. And it's all happening online. And as easy as it would be for me to sit here and say, block them or deactivate or whatever the case may be, it doesn't truly get rid of the problem altogether.
No.
It really doesn't. Now, there's not much that we could do to stop online harassment. Everyone gets it. I myself have been trolled many a day. I've been called a fat bald bitch for so goddamn long that it's just becoming, it becomes part of the program, right? So so what I want to say is, and I brought this topic up for this exact reason, and feel free to chime in on this part, because I think this is, for someone like yourself who's familiar with the business but not technically in it, I think you might have a good view on this. But as much as all of this sucks, and in a perfect world, none of this would happen. Guys are getting it, girls are getting it, but let's be real, the girls get it way more, and it's far more dangerous for the girls than it is the guys. So, although the girls do get it worse, this message is for both guys and girls. Wrestling is show business. This is show business. It's entertainment. It comes with the package. You're not going to get rid of it. There are some things that you can do to limit access to you. There are some people in show business that don't have social media at all, or they have a company run the social media for them. So all that stuff is weeded out. That's another way that you can go. I know for a fact that Jon Moxley in particular, he activated accounts. He doesn't use them. It's part of the promotional thing. What he did was he activated accounts just so when the companies he works for, like WWE or AEW, when they post on social media, they can tag him so that it's there at Jon Moxley or whatever.
Right.
But he doesn't even look at them, and there's no posts on his shit.
Completely unaware of what's going on with him.
Unaware completely whatsoever.
It's the best way to do it, unfortunately.
Now, that's an extreme, because we live in a world now where it's almost impossible for anybody below the age of 30 to not want to be on social media. So there are other ways to get around that, as far as limiting access to your pages, limiting access to your DMs, so on and so forth. There's some settings that you can do here. But I want people to have the understanding that it's show business, and unfortunately, this is a part of it. Okay, there was a situation that happened with Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, where they were doing something in a match. Roxanne was on the outside of the ring on the floor, and some fan was just berating her. And at one point, she sells it. She turns around and shut the fuck up, or whatever she said. And then they finished the match or whatever. And I guess Roxanne and Liv had a conversation about it, and they confronted the fan. And Liv was like, you need to apologize to her and all this other stuff. As an old school wrestling fan and an old school wrestler, that shit hurt my soul. I was like, they're just talking shit. They're fans. Let it go. But we're living in a world now where it's not so much let it go.
Different.
They don't want people talking shit to them like that at all. And
it's funny you bring it. Before you continue this point, I want to add another person in there. I've drawn a blank on her fucking name. Damn it. What was it?
Wrestler?
Yes. And she had came out and someone actually like fucking pushed her as she was walking. It was like a young, weird looking kid. Damn, this happened like 2 PLEs ago. Fuck. Sorry. I can't remember who. I'm going to look it up real quick while you continue, but they literally like, she like walked over. I don't know exactly why she went over to the side, but he like hit her or like touched her and like pushed her. And then you could tell she wanted to like fucking hit
Julia.
her. She kind of like, Julia. Yes. Yes.
What step you're talking about now? Yes.
So I wanted to throw that one in there as well, because that was another one that I saw.
Yes.
Like, did that just fucking, what's wrong with that fucking kid? Why did he, you know what I mean? So, anyway,
well, it's
I
so
just wanted to throw
funny
that one in
because
there too.
my initial reaction, I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about that, but I did see that clip. My initial reaction to it was dope that Julia like Like I should punch her in the fucking face right now.
You can see she wanted to fucking.
Mm-hmm.
That shit pissed me off.
Her reaction to it was anger, which I can appreciate because I would have been fucking upset as well. I don't know if I would have sold it. I don't think she really sold it all that much, but like
she held it pretty good.
Yeah, she looked for a split second like she handles herself like somebody in real life who like don't fucking touch me, like at all, or I will fucking take your head off type shit, which is dope. But there's some people who react the other way, where the criticism comes or the physicality comes, something, and they wither. You know, they get upset about it. There's crying. There's all kinds of stuff. There's those who are ready to fight, and then there are those who are ready for flight. So this comes with the territory, right? So my closing statement on the territory part is understand that before you get in. Don't come into the wrestling business or show business in general and just assume
wrestling, just in general.
You'll be the one person who gets into show business that's completely immune to this shit, because it's not going to happen. If you don't want people talking wild to you, if you don't want people talking shit to your face, if you don't want them in your DMs, if you don't want them on comments, if you don't want them putting your name in the mud or whatever the case may be, lying about you, creating AI pictures of you on the internet, whatever the fucking case may be, don't pursue a profession that is making you a public figure. Think about it first. If you get in, unfortunately, you're in for the ride.
Yeah.
You're in for the ride. Unfortunately, it's kind of a part of the deal. I wish that it wasn't, but it is. As far as tips on how we can stay away from the physical part, the Rhea Ripley situation, the Sonya Deville situation, to avoid the physicality of this kind of harassment, I've said this in the past, and I've worked with promotions that I've kind of used this, so I know that it has some level of success. But guys, it's kind of on us. Help your sister out, bro. Stop looking at these situations outside of the bubble, right? Because I have seen in the past, I have seen this, where some women's wrestlers will vocalize to a locker room, to a promoter, to somebody, but there's either a group or a specific fan that's taking things too far. And it's becoming, like you said, you saw a situation where someone like pushed or shoved Julia. I've seen situations, it is just no bullshit, where a lady will come through, one of the girls comes through the curtain, it's the big entrance, here we go, we're going to the room, we're going to have a match, let's clap some hands, and a kid will put his hand out for the high five, and when she goes for the high five, he scoops underneath and goes for the titty. I've seen it. Or they get the high five and they're walking by and boom, right on the ass, right on the bottom there. I've seen it. You know, it's unfortunate. I've seen some of the women that go to the guardrail and they're doing the high five deal. And I've heard this story. This is a true story. We actually had to kick a guy out for this. She went for the high five. He went for the high five. When he got the hand, he grabbed the hand and tried to put it on his dick. Like took her hand and she, oh my God. She tried, it took every fiber in her being not to deck this dude with the other hand. Like as a reflex. Justified. She would have been justified, but it would have been an issue regardless. And she did her best to not get wrapped up in that. But it threw her. For Absolutely. Sure. The match wasn't there. The match wasn't there. She goes to the back. She just packs her shit. I don't even want to be around this place anymore. When the promoter asked what it was that was the issue, she told him, and that guy, by the way, did nothing. That fan was still there after she told him what he attempted to do. There was no care taken in that situation. There was no protection at all. They just, well, you know, maybe he was drinking. I don't know what he said. I'm just trying to, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. I just know for a fact she told him and nothing happened. So I don't know how he rationalized it in his head, but it's on. I'm putting this onus on because I've heard this in the past. You know, we're a fraternity, brothers and sisters. Then watch out for your sister. because you might think it's a joke because it's funny to you. 6'3", 280 pounds. You're not getting the criticism that 5'2", 120 pound lady wrestler over here is getting. And the same situation with I've had situations where I've had people ask me or ask the other wrestlers if we can walk them to the car. If there's an access point somewhere, like if I'm on the road and I got to use the restroom, like what's a good open spot? Like women's wrestlers they don't just take bookings and go to a building and wrestle and leave like we do. They have to ask a million questions. Where am I changing? Because a lot of wrestling companies don't have separate locker rooms. They got everybody in the same locker room. So the women are in the locker room with the dudes. They don't want to change with the dudes, so they have to find a bathroom somewhere they can change, and they don't have their own locker room. So for the most part, women's wrestlers, they come either to the show already in gear because they changed in the car, or they come into the bathroom when they get there to change, and they're in their gear for like the whole fucking day because they just, especially if it's a new locker room, they don't know anybody there. So they'll walk around, they'll put the gear on and then put like a coat back on or whatever so their titties are not out in the locker room and shit like that, because apparently they have to worry about that sort of thing, right? They're going over the match, two women going over a match, and all of a sudden one of the guys is like, oh, that looks dope. What does that look like again? And they show them the move around. Here, let me do it with you. And then it's just an excuse to grab the chick. Now it's like, oh, let me practice this spot with you real quick. And now her titties are here, her ass is right here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's little cheap shit like this. They have to worry about all this. They have to worry about traveling to the show. They have to worry about fans when they're leaving the building, that they're not outside waiting for the girls to come out. They have to make sure when they drive from the venue to the home that they have it mapped out exactly where they're stopping and why. It has to be well lit. It has to be out in public so everybody can see. This is all shit. My dumb ass drives from a show. I got to stop at a gas station. I got no fear, bro. No one's raping this baddie right here.
Okay.
I'm good to go. No one's coming after this ass. I can tell you right now. No one's interested in what I got going on, right? But these women, they have to think about this type of shit all the time. So I would like to put the onus more on the boys and more on the promotion. If you're a promoter or a booker or in charge of a company and you're hiring female talent, I feel personally you should have some sort of process or procedure in place for the women that you're hiring as talent for the evening. They should have an area. I'm not saying give them a private locker room. Actually, if you could, that'd be great. But I'm saying if it's not within your means, if you're at a venue where it's just like one big fucking open room or whatever the case is, I have seen promoters do the opposite, where let's say they have the locker room is like one big community room where everybody's bags is everywhere and shit like that. But then like we're in a community center or a YMCA or a veterans, whatever the fuck. All of these places have offices, right? So chances are, if you've got a full show of wrestlers, they're not all women, probably got 2, 3, 4 women at most. Give them one of the offices, preferably one with a fucking lock on the door. So they can go in there and just change and do what they have to do in there, and they can mingle with the locker room when they have a chance. Same thing with the process. I'm making sure these ladies get from the venue at least to the fucking car. Because we have seen, even in New York, the women get harassed on the way to the car, especially in New York. Most venues that I've gone to that are outside of New York usually are at a facility that has a parking lot. Here in New York, a lot of the venues that I've worked at, it's the usual New York City street parking. So chances are they didn't get a chance to park right in front of the building. They're probably 6 blocks that way on a fucking meter that they have to feed during the course of the show. That they don't get a fucking ticket, and they got to wheel their bag all the way to fuck over there, sometimes in the fucking dark. Help them out. Be a part of the goddamn process. For the fellas, if you're like me and, you're confident that rape's not on the table for you, that's great. But I've seen the opposite for the men. For everyone who keeps telling me kayfabe is dead, tell the wrestling fans, because a lot of them don't get it. Because the guy who was an asshole in the ring, now he's outside the building. Oh, You took all that shit with, whoa, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen people confronted right outside the building. Yeah, you was talking wild shit earlier, and now we got to fight. Oh, man, now I got to bust your ass in front of everybody, catch a charge, just bullshit. Together. I feel like that there should be more of that. You know, I'm the last person to talk. I know I'm always secluded. When I'm in the locker room, I'm not exactly a fucking social butterfly. I understand. I shake my hands. I do my job. I get the fuck out. I get it. But I'm talking about circumstances, right? If I'm asked, hey, you think you can help me to the car? Or, hey, what stop do you get off at when you're driving back on the pike and you're doing this and this? I help. You know, I look out. I've given people rides to train stations. I've given people rides to bus stations. I've given rides to their homes. You know, whatever. If it happens to be on the fucking way, fuck it. I am notorious for telling people to not get in my car. I'm over that. I've been doing enough of these trips now where I think I've earned the right to be like, I don't want to give anybody a fucking ride. Because I've given so many rides to so many fucking people, and it's just, I'm burnt. So I want to sit in my car with my snacks on the passenger seat, with my music or my whatever show I'm into on the audio, and just me and the fucking open road, baby, just going, looking out for cops, making sure they don't catch my speeding ass, and trying to get back to New York City as fast as I possibly can. But in situations of need, I think that's helpful. I think that's a step forward. I think that's my solution to some of this. Whereas I think we need to band together more and help each other out, because some of these ladies in particular are being left out to dry, and it's not really fair. They're not making nearly enough money to be left like that. There's a couple of people that I know, women that are traveling to different states to do shows. So now we're talking about 4 or 5 hours on the road, either by themselves or with other women that are also on the lookout, peering, trying to make sure nothing bad happens to them and shit like that. So, hey, we're calling it a brotherhood, and a sisterhood and a fraternity. Let's continue to do that. Let's make sure that it is. We look out for each other, man. If I was to do something promotional wise, I'm not saying that I am, but if I were to, I think I would like to be the guy who sets that formula up. So that like I want to be able to come up with something that could work for everybody involved, some sort of buddy system that would be efficient, and see if we can pass that word along. But as of right now, those are bare bones ideas. So let's go ahead and get to the main event and the crux of our conversation, because I know you guys are going to be pissed about this one.
It is now time for the main event of the evening.
Dave. Just a few years ago, dude. It wasn't that long ago.
Nope. Really wasn't.
That long ago, where we sat here, I believe it was before the WrestleMania 40 roundtable, where you and me, Steve and Joe and everybody involved sat here and we had the conversation. We said, how about we just give Cody a chance? Let's just see how it goes. And I think for the most part, I think everybody can agree that it's had its ups, it's had its downs, but for the most part, he's been good for the company. He's been good for business.
He's been doing his thing.
Up until Friday. Up until Friday, when all of a sudden, let me take a step back, he became Cody Hogan, baby. That's it. What? Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania? That doesn't work for me, brother. No, sirree, Bob. He's gonna stay. There's photos right now of him holding the belt, and they gave him the Fu Manchu with the bandana like that. And he's got the Cody Rhodes competed against Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship this Friday and defeated him for the title. They're setting up Drew McIntyre. It looks like Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, and this sets Cody up now to be the opponent for Randy Orton at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. I will not refer to it as undisputed since it's disputed as fuck. We're not going to refer to that. But first and foremost, right out of the gate, we're gonna hit it strong right off the top, Dave. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think of the call just right off the bat of changing the title? We'll discuss everything, but starting right there, was this a good idea or a bad idea for that title to change hands this quick?
I feel like they screwed McIntyre again.
Oh, there it is.
We screwed him again, man. I don't understand why he doesn't get the WrestleMania moment right now. I don't understand why it goes back to Cody Rhodes. Why are we getting Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton?
Well, there is a tailor-made story there.
I don't care.
And yet still this feels...
I don't give a fuck what storyline you're going to drive here. This doesn't make any sense. There's no reason why, aside from Cody sells merch, that he is going to main event the first day of WrestleMania. As the champion, by the way.
Yep.
He lost the Rumble. He lost the Chamber. You can argue that the interruption was the reason why they had the match.
He lost the 3 stages of hell. That's how the stipulation happened. That if he lost 3 stages of hell, he'd never get a shot against Drew again until they gave it to him again.
But
so he lost 3 matches in there.
Even without that interference going into the match, with us not even anticipating, I didn't see anyone say anything about McIntyre coming in and messing up that match. I don't think Cody was the favorite to win that. It was a chance. Yeah. But I don't think it was an overwhelming feeling that this was something that Cody needed to do.
I think there was a slight want to have him not win that chamber.
I know on this podcast there was.
Yeah.
And for them to have forced Drew to drop this belt. You can see it on a SmackDown too. Right on the road. It must be a gut punch to be on the last exit of the road to WrestleMania and you drop your belt on a regular televised episode. And they tried, I will give them credit. They tried to make that a bang fucking match. They really almost tried to make it feel like.
Right, if I'm going to lose the title, I'm not getting squashed, brother. Really about to win. My WrestleMania is right now.
They needed a WrestleMania-esque match.
Yeah.
I could see it in Drew's face that something was wrong. Something was up. And then they ran the story with him dropping the belt and him and Fatu going. And now he's right back to working the talent to move them into the picture. When I will argue Cody should be the one doing that. McIntyre has been doing a lot of fucking heavy lifting, and he can't hold the belt longer than a few months. It keeps getting torn off him. Now, I have this theory that I may have mentioned this before, but I feel like his payout is a high title number. Like being that next guy that has held the belt X amount of times.
Right.
I feel like his run is going to end with him being 6, 7, 8, 9 time, 10 time champion.
Okay.
I feel like that's what his payout might be. And then maybe like going towards his last run, he might hold it for a little while. That's what it feels like. But I don't know if that means anything anymore. Like he's not getting a solid run. And when he does have the belt, he is making magic with it. I don't understand why they just keep using him as fodder. So gain the belt, drop the belt. Gain the belt, drop the belt. I just don't understand what their motive with him. Maybe you can shine some light on it, but it just does not make sense to me.
Well, the only light that I could possibly shine is, I put my ear to the street and the rumor mill seems to be that there was a panic when it came to ticket sales at WrestleMania, and they felt that Cody and Randy, based on their history, is a much easier storyline to sell. They feel that'll draw more attention, more ticket sales will come from that, as opposed to having Drew and Randy. But here's the question that I propose. And I don't think anybody with a straight face is going to tell me, is going to be able to convince me otherwise. But you pulled the trigger on this, so now Cody will face Randy for the title, and Jacob will fight Drew. That's where it currently is. I don't think you're going to be able to convince me that setup is going to draw you more money and sell more tickets than if it had still been Drew and Randy and Cody and Jacob.
Too, yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be a tremendous uptick. I don't know if the ticket sales are going to be that different based on that switch. I don't feel like, okay, Cody and Randy now will be, I don't know, night one main event, and because of that, we're going to sell more tickets in Las Vegas. I don't think that that's a reality. I think you might get better. You're relying on their history and assuming that the history will be better content for your TV, whereas I think I can make the argument that leaving it Drew and Randy and Cody and Jacob will give you a
much better
fresher program. You don't have to go back into your archives to 2009 and show us no wrestling tight Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase and the legacy and all this stuff. There's a time for that. And people have been asking for that storyline. But this is shoehorning, and it's different. This is Peter from Family Guy when he was like trying to kiss the guy, and the guy all of a sudden just throws him on the floor. No, not like this. That's what this is. It's like, we want Cody and Randy. Cool, we'll do it at Mania. Wait, that now? Wait a second. You had something going. And I want to make a proposal because, Dave, we've been here before. You and I have been here before. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania 40. The Rock shows up, and for whatever inexplicable reason, Cody just gives up his title match to The Rock. It's The Rock and Roman Reigns. Why? Because we feel we can tell a better story and draw a bigger house with The Rock and Roman than we can with Cody and Roman. That's what was told to us. But what changed the match? Hashtag we want Cody. So here's what I propose. Fast forward 2 years. How bad do you want Drew? Hashtag we want Drew. How about it? Huh? Because they haven't officially, because the title change just happened on Friday. They haven't yet announced Drew and Jacob. How bad do you want Drew in that main event? Let your voices be heard, boys and girls.
You saying that we can change this outcome?
I'm saying you can
I
try.
don't think that. I don't know.
I'm saying you can try. Why not? Work.
I mean, it's worth a shot. But
yeah, what's the worst that can happen? Are you just going to stay in the storyline you're already in? They're going to ignore you. Nothing's going to change. Then you're already here. Hashtag we want Drew. Hashtag we want Drew. And by the way, you said a second ago you felt like Drew was being screwed again. You know, I'm a bit of a historian myself. And for whatever reason, when that match ended, and I saw all the response from people concerning the ending of that match, and Dave, you're not going to remember this, but for the old school, guess what? This exact situation where a gentleman has been busting his behind to put on great matches, tell great stories, get himself into the title picture, shocks the world, becomes the champion, has a hell of a run with the title. Now, granted, this was short, but he's had great runs with the title, and he would have had a great run here with the title, only to lose that title mere days away from WrestleMania because they felt this was the better story and not the guy who just held that title and made it mean something and then wound up going to WrestleMania with some meaningless singles match while the two championship contenders fought on the main event. This has happened before. Sure. And I would like to bring it to the court of public opinion, the evidence in the case of Kurt Angle. This has happened before, and it happened to Kurt. Rewind with me, if you will. Now, Drew's run this time around was short, but he's been champion before. We know what he's capable of. I bring you back to the year 2000. Kurt Angle's on a run. Intercontinental champion, European champion, Eurocontinental champion, right? King of the Ring. Best rookie year in WWE history. Goes to October, the No Mercy pay-per-view, and defeats The Rock for the WWF Championship. Shocks the world. Kurt Angle in his first year wins every belt, including the world title. So what does Kurt Angle do with the title? It goes on to put on great matches, memorable storylines, crazy promos. Goes to November Survivor Series, defeats The Undertaker. Goes into the December pay-per-view in a 6-man Hell in a Cell match with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Rikishi, The Undertaker, and Triple H as his opponent. And he fucking wins. And then he goes to the Rumble. And I think it was Triple H. I can't remember who he competed against, but he wins. He's like, holy shit, Kurt Angle's on the run of a lifetime right now. And Stone Cold Steve Austin just won the Royal Rumble. It's going to be Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin, a hot young Kurt Angle with the championship around his waist against that badass motherfucker Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Houston Astrodome in front of thousands and thousands of people. 2001 is going to be crazy. But then we get to February, and The Rock beats him for the title. Why? Because The Rock and Stone Cold made more sense for WrestleMania than Kurt Angle and Stone Cold did. So The Rock beats Kurt Angle in February, only to lose it at the next pay-per-view to Steve. And then what happens after that? The Rock goes off into Hollywood, and Stone Cold's looking for an opponent. And who does he wind up wrestling for most of 2001? Kurt fucking Angle. So we wound up there anyway. We just didn't do it at Mania. So I fast forward 25 years later to today. Same scenario. We all wanted to see Drew succeed. We all wanted to see Drew become the guy. He wins the WWE Championship finally, and in a great way. 3 stages of hell. That match notwithstanding, it wasn't hell so much, but it definitely was 3 stages. And he wins the championship on SmackDown, televised event, which rarely ever happens. Made news, made headlines, got the clicks, the likes, and the shares. Tremendous. Already foregone conclusion he's going to Mania. We just need an opponent, and then here comes Randy Orton. And I don't know about you guys. Drew and Randy Orton sounds good to me. I'll take it. And then here we go. Cody Hogan. Because this storyline makes better sense for WrestleMania. And I bet you history will repeat itself. Regardless of who wins that match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, as soon as WrestleMania season has passed, Drew's going to be right back in the ring with those guys anyway. This decision was made solely for WrestleMania, and I cannot tell you that it makes any bit of a fucking difference. I don't think ticket sales would have changed either way, because the problem with the ticket sales isn't the card, it's the prices. It's the prices. You're pricing people out. In a town nobody wants to go to. Even without WrestleMania, have you seen the headlines? Have you heard the news? Vegas is dying. There's not a lot of people going to Las Vegas, and for the people who are going to Vegas, all I keep hearing is the disappointment, because Vegas is becoming now, due to low attendance, not a lot of people spending money at Vegas anymore. It's becoming more family friendly. Every time people go over there, they keep talking about how they see families there now. Gone are the prostitutes and the drugs and all the things that made Vegas.
I'm seeing a
fun in the first
reoccurring
place.
theme in this spot about
Yeah.
all the bad shit going away.
Yes, remember they used to call that place Sin City.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, now what happens in Vegas is all you can eat buffets and
Oh,
vouchers for the
it's
kids.
so good. Oh my god, the chicken, the chicken,
the
the
chicken.
chicken. I don't know, man.
It's the tickets. It's not the goddamn storylines. You're not going to sell more tickets regardless of who's on the card. You'll sell more tickets if you can make the tickets more accessible to people. It's already WrestleMania. It's already Allegiant Stadium. All the cards and all the stars are aligned. You're just pricing people the fuck out. It really is as simple as that. They're trying to book the strongest card they can book because the tickets won't sell themselves. And then on top of that, their top stars are all getting hurt. So they don't have full access to their roster. They're in the middle of the fucking desert in a building that is hard to sell because they're already overpriced.
And it's not just the building. A lot of people got to get there. Flying is expensive. Boarding is expensive.
Yeah,
food is expensive. It's all the flight there alone last time they were there when we were considering it would have cost me like a couple thousand or $1,000 round trip, like some crazy shit. That's just travel.
Yeah,
I'm not even
that's
talking
just
about the money I got to spend to get to the airport. Like, it's insane. I mean, we're not even talking tickets.
To sit in there, yeah, we're not even talking tickets. You know, the food and bev in that place is going to be ridiculous. $20 beverages.
Outrageous.
And that's only if you fly to WrestleMania, do WrestleMania, and fly the fuck out of Las Vegas to go back home.
Oh, yeah, don't get caught up actually doing shit.
Yeah, you can't actually do shit there without spending even more fucking money. You're not going to be able to hit a casino up flat broke. You got to spend money to make money over there in Las Vegas.
That last number they did was really, really, really big. But, I mean, I know it doesn't feel that long ago, but...
And I hate to beat a dead horse.
There's a lot of difference.
No hoes. I mean, that was the whole draw to the goddamn city in the first place.
Or alcohol.
Yeah. Look, alcohol's at an all-time low. They're not. There's nobody getting alcohol anymore. We can't even export the fucking shit anymore.
It's crazy.
God damn it. So
crazy,
yeah, no,
crazy.
The solution is right in front of your fucking face. If you want to sell the fucking building out, lower the fucking ticket prices. Until then, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle. There's no one on this card, and I'm not saying you don't have stars. I'm not saying you don't have draws, but there's no one on this card that is a lightning bolt that will just set the ticket sales on fucking fire.
Why do you think they're calling Roman back? Roman was just saying this on an interview and got killed for it.
Yeah, you know what? Based on the card that's there, take Roman off that card and tell me that feels like a WrestleMania show.
I mean, what Punk is doing right now, but Punk is not enough by himself.
We're going to get into... Listen, I'm trying so hard not to blow my load before we do the actual fucking WrestleMania live conversation. This program between Punk and Roman started off dope. We're teetering now. I don't understand what the fuck that was last night. I don't understand what the fuck that comment was about the dad, because that's all anybody can talk about. It does have people talking. I'll give them that. But it's not just about shock value. You have to end up somewhere. And all I keep seeing is the potential heel turn for CM Punk, which I'm not 100% opposed to, but everything has to go to a place. It has to go somewhere. So I'm going to let him cook. We still have several weeks.
Hold you, say what you want. He snuffed him for real. I ain't gonna hold you.
Oh, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. No, that's gotta be.
He hit him for real. And you could, if you've ever seen someone get punched in the face, Punk's face was like you really.
I don't think
like he hit him for real.
I don't think he hit him with everything he had, but
he wasn't trying to knock him out, but he hit him. That was a real hit. I played it back 20 times. That sound, he checked them. That was a check. You that was a pay that you got that off on TV. You're gonna pay, like there's a payment that needs to be made for that, and that was a little bit of a payment. I know they were out here on a show I felt how real they did not like that shit. Like for real, they did not like it. Like, even if they told him go, like that was part of the play.
Yeah,
they did not like it. And like, say what you want about Jimmy.
They might have been cool with the idea, but they probably
gotta
real
be
emotions.
Business.
Yeah,
but like
they got it, but there was a real emotion that came out during the course of this.
Oh yeah, and I tell you that. Say what you want about Jay and Jimmy. Jimmy was big bro there. He was 100% big bro there.
Not just big bro there, but there was a lot of comments of Jay's performance in that promo going, "That's Bloodline Jay. That's what we want. All this shit right here is cool, but we need that Jay. That's main event Jay Uso, not the lovable, cuddly, this dude with the like
that raw.
My God,
relentless,
that raw, animalistic.
Yeah.
When he was just looking at him, it was like, "You're not listening to me."
I'm gonna tell you.
They shook their heads and they said, "Sure, if it'll draw money, if it'll draw business, whatever the fuck." But I'm pretty sure somewhere in there they were like, "Whatever, dude."
Yeah,
all right.
I think that punch is gonna change up a couple promos. I'm being that ass. I really do. I think there's no way Punk would have been able to say sorry there. He couldn't. He did that perfectly fine.
There was no out for that.
There's no out for that.
You back up on that.
He played
because his comeback didn't make sense. Promo wise, logically, the way that the Usos set him up for that apology, and then he really didn't apologize. There's a comment, man. I wish I could pull it up. There were some fans that listened to Punk's story and walked away thinking that Alpha and the Anawahis had trained Punk, which he did not. That's not what the story was.
He kind of made it sound that way.
No, he told a story of Alpha's kindness. When he said that he drove to Allentown, it wasn't to train, it was to work. I worked in Allentown with the Anawahis. I have the video on my YouTube channel to prove it. I worked with the Anawahis in Allentown. I drove to Allentown too. They didn't train me. They didn't train Punk. He was trained by Ace Steel in Chicago. He wasn't trained in Allentown, PA. But the story was about Alpha's kindness. Because he's saying, I didn't work for free, right? Because what that is you pay your dues. You work for whatever you get booked, right? Whatever they can offer you is nice. A couple bucks. Or in Punk's case, when he told the story,
enough for
food. A war meal, some gas money to get back to. That's not training. That's a story about being on the road. Mm-hmm. This is why the marks need to pay attention to the verbiage and learn to. If you're going to be on the inside, learn the verbiage, because he never once said that he was trained by the Anawahis. He had a good relationship with them. And Jimmy made a face. He said, "I wasn't as close to Sika. I was close to Alpha." He's talking about the Walsallans. He brought up Samu Anawahi, and Jimmy made this face like. Almost like confused.
Almost like, I don't like that you said that name. He had that look in his face like
he had that because I met Sammy. I've worked with Sammy, and I get the face because he was almost like looking at Jay like, when the fuck did this motherfucker meet? Like, it was almost confusion. It's like, is he starting to conflate shit now? When the fuck did he? Because I met him, but when I met him, it was obviously years after Punk would have met him. I don't know if Sammy was working Allentown around the time that Punk would, like, timeline wise, how that works. I think he personally, after a while, I think he just started naming family members just to get his point across, because he made this face like,
no, he didn't.
When the fuck did he meet Sammy? Like, what the Sammy's never around. What are you talking about? He's around now a lot, but actually, I think he practically runs that company now. That's the same company. What was it? WXWC4. That's where my boys, the Zoltan, won the tag team titles. I worked one show with that company, and I managed in the main event with the GOAT going against Lance Anawahi, which is another name that he dropped, Punk. Because I practically used to babysit Lance at the shows. I managed a team against Lance and his family. It was the GOAT against the Anawahi family in the main event of that show. And I was in the main event with them. So I got a chance to meet all these guys, talk to these guys. Excellent dudes, cool dudes, great people. And I think that's the story that Punk was trying to get across. And even though when he said the words, "I'm sorry," he then twisted it. that Roman has been treating you like this, and Roman was like, okay, here's why that response didn't work. Because you come off like you're not paying attention to the conversation when 2 times Jimmy said it first. We don't give a shit about Roman Reigns. You can talk all the shit about Roman Reigns that you want. Our issue is that you mentioned our uncle. And then Punk said some shit about Roman. And then the second time Jay said it. You not listening. You still don't get it. This ain't about Roman. You talking about my dead uncle. I need you to say I'm sorry right now. And then he responded again with a Roman comment. That didn't fit. I don't know if it was written weird or they delivered it weird, but CM Punk looked kind of, I don't want to say stupid, but it's like he
looked uneasy. He was trying to find a way out of this that didn't fuck up his route, what he was doing, but also knew, you could tell on his face, oh, this is like legit. Like they are actually
their body language.
Running the story here.
Yeah,
they truly want me to say sorry in this moment in front of all these people. I can't do that, so he tried to find a way out of it.
Not just truly feeling emotion, but either this was phenomenal acting or it was too real to be acting. They looked like they wanted to fuck him up.
They wanted to jump his shit right now.
They looked for a second there.
Listen, Jay can be quite easy to read. My man was actually mad.
Yeah,
like I know
he was lifted. He was ready to go. Yeah, he was ready to go. So I don't think even in that situation he would have done it on camera, but he did give the vibe like, nah, I'm not cool with like literally any of this shit right now. Like, I don't even know if he's necessarily pissed at Punk so much as maybe just pissed at the whole thing as a vibe. Like, why can't we just do Punk and Reigns? Why does it have to be this? Like, I don't know. I've seen too many street dudes doing that walk that Jay and Jimmy were doing to the ring. I've seen that walk before.
That shit made me nervous.
I think it made Punk nervous.
100%.
To be honest, the more they responded to him in their tone, the more nervous it looked like he got, because they weren't giving him something to bounce off of. When him and Roman were having the conversation, Roman was making comments that Punk could feed off of. There was none of that in this promo. Jay and Jimmy were like, fuck all that. Apologize right now, and then that's it. They didn't say shit else.
When they called him Phil, I felt like we were in real territory, because although, yes, you can make an argument that Roman said it.
Yeah, he's been saying it.
But that's, I don't think that's,
but he didn't feel them. Yeah,
that's not a dumb thing, though. They would have called him Punk. In this atmosphere, in this situation right now, they're, from my understanding, Punk and them are supposed to be cool.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for them to call him Phil. So when Jimmy called him Phil, when Jimmy said Phil, I was like, oh, these they think they not in a ring right now. They really want it. And when he caught him right here, I replayed it like 20 times. That was a real hit. He did not smack his leg. There was that thud was his forehead. And he looked, and Jimmy looked at him like, that was 5%, homie. I could have knocked your head clean off. And it's not done. He didn't apologize, and they don't look like the type of, you know what I mean? So we'll see where business takes us from here. But if they don't build on this right here, to me, this was a shoot. I either they just went out there or whatever the case may be, but that shit felt, God tier acting, because that shit felt for real, like there was real smoke in that ring.
Regardless of how this whole program shapes up, this feud is too good to not be Night 2's main event.
Oh,
so to bring it back to Cody and Randy for just a second, I would definitely think that this is the main event of Night 1.
100%.
My only issue with this now is they took the belt off of Drew to give it to Cody for the next, I just looked it up here, it's about 5 weeks.
And now Drew's going to open night 1.
Not so much the opening part, but I mean, I know we're going to talk about it more on the live convo, and maybe our opinions between now and then will change. But as I said earlier, making these decisions, it has to lead somewhere. So do you pull the trigger? Do you give Randy number 15 at WrestleMania and move Randy either to a new opponent or continue this thing with Cody? I don't care where you go, but just for WrestleMania's conversation's sake, do you pull the trigger?
Randy, to be fair, I would probably give it if they give it to Randy, then I know what I said about McIntyre, how they're building him up with title counts.
Yeah.
Orton is the closest thing to breaking Cena's record.
I don't think they're going to give him that though. If he does win it,
closest thing to that record. I mean, there's a lot of that's a lot of time. They'd have to write that in. But if they were looking to give that to anyone else, Orton would be that person.
Logical choice,
right?
He'd be a logical choice for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't think that he will, but it would be.
I don't want to take it away from Orton because Orton's going to make this match fire no matter who he was with. I was extremely excited, and so was my wife. She doesn't even watch it that much, but she came in the room and she saw Orton. She's huge Orton. So like she saw Orton had won, and she goes, "Who is he wrestling for WrestleMania?" I said McIntyre. She goes, "Say less." Like, now she's gonna be crazy disappointed when she hears the list guy has the belt.
The list
because
guy.
That's how she refers to him. Every time she tries to make fun of me on something or like whatever, she'll just be like, "Finish the story." That's like her favorite thing. So she's not gonna be happy about that at all.
No shade toward Gaio. Them our Street Fighter Gaio character. You leave him alone.
No.
All right.
Oh, never mind. We'll talk about it off air real quick because we got to get this going. But that's something we got to add in here. Next one, we're gonna talk about that.
The Street Fighter thing.
The Mortal Kombat thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we're gonna tie that together. Wow, I got a whole thing too. I'm gonna send it to you. We're gonna put it together. I already know. I'm like, we putting this together. All right, good enough.
Yeah. All right, so that's our show for this week. As I said before, let me pull this back up, by the way, while I'm talking. I just did the count there. About 5 weeks before we get to Mania, which will, if I'm not mistaken, we are returning back to the House of Deception for WrestleMania. That should be a fun time. By the way, you got to let me know where you got those wingies from, because I'm buying next time. Those were some damn good wings.
They're fire,
dude.
They're
so good.
The pizza's all right. It's hard to find.
Good.
It's hard to find great pizza when you're not in New York. But the pizza's okay. But those fucking wings,
the wings.
Their garlic knots are really good too.
Those
wings are fucking good, dude. They're really good.
So let me pop this up for the folks at home real quick. Again, April 14th, Tuesday, live at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and The Kick. We're doing the WrestleMania live combo. The guests are ready to go. You are the most important guests that we possibly can get. So we want to thank you guys for supporting the show, man, and come in and chat with us. We're going to be pushing this hard. I got a video coming out for actual promotion this time for the goddamn live event. Should be dope. So, anything else you want to throw in before we get out of here, or is it time to go?
Solid, man. Let's get the hell out of here. My favorite's banging down the door.
Your daughter must hate Tuesdays.
She fucking hates it, dude, so much. Today she had a distraction. Her cousin was here. So I think they probably left like a little bit ago. So she had a good distraction, but bro, I canceled one because she was losing her fucking mind, dude.
I remember.
But she does all right. She's all right.
All right, guys. So thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing. And of course, thank you guys for enjoying. We will see you guys next week for episode 346.
Mic drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.